What you doing? I'm your otaku Tanner, the AC source for this episode of Alcohol and Anime. Woo! Okay. So you of course know I'm watching. I watched Penguin Highway, and this is a pleasantly surprising episode watch for me. I actually really love this movie, but I'm not talking about the movie. I'm just going to jump right into it because I got a lot to say. I feel like, especially about the movie. Oh, I'm probably going to be really burpy. Because going right into talking about the the alcohol part, which I always do first, I had to think about what I wanted to drink. Of course, I had options. Oh, see, there it goes. I'm so sorry. It's going to be like that. But I had options going into this about what film to watch. Eventually, I chose Penguin Highway because this episode's probably coming out on Turkey Day, Bird Day, whatever you want to call it. And if you didn't know, penguins are birds. I know they live on the water, but no, sometimes they go in the water and all that stuff. So no, they're not fish. And you feel like, well, why are you clearing that up? Trust me, you gotta clear it up for some people. Unfortunately, that's the reality we live in. Not everyone's the brightest. And I was like, okay, cool. What's a bird, or what's a penguin drink? And I was like, I don't know. And then it hit me. Like, the joke of all jokes as a kid. Maybe not the joke. It's a decent joke. And it popped in my head pretty early, and so what I based my drink off of is the joke of what is black and white and red all over? A penguin for suntan. Or sunburn. Oh, fuck that up. Cool. Good job, me. Redo. Let's try that again. Knock knock. Who's there? What's black and white and red all over? A penguin with sunburn. Okay, so that's where I started. So I was thinking black and white and red. And okay. What else is going on? That at least the white and red part got me. Peppermint. So, and also, I mean, there's been a lot of peppermint stuff coming out lately. That's probably also, honestly, let me take back what I just said. I'm pretty sure I just wanted to drink some peppermint moonshine, and then the joke popped in my head, and then the movie popped in my head, kind of. So that's what I went with. Or that is what I wanted to go with. Oh man, I'm all over the place. I had a big old mug of what I drank, and then more. Now, so what my plan was to find colors, red, white, black. So the peppermint moonshine is what I was going to start with, but then I was like, well, now I need something black. And I was like, okay, I could do some black rum. I was like, oh yeah, that'll work. Or, you know, if I want to just be a little lazy with it, but still like kind of dark, I thought just getting a nice dark stout. And it all sounded good. I've really been craving peppermint moonshine. I pretty much get like a thing of peppermint moonshine every year for the past few years. I've been doing this and drinking it throughout the winter, kind of. Or I drink it really quickly, get myself kind of not sick, but you know, like, okay, I'm good for this for a year. So went to the liquor store to find it, all excited. No, there's no peppermint moonshine. Apparently, there's peppermint everything else, but not moonshine yet. I know it's a thing because I've gotten it, like I said, every year so far. But it's not out yet. I don't know if it's going to ever be. It's not my usual brand that I normally get, and it's not any other. I didn't see any other kind of alcohol, like vodka, I don't know, maybe whiskey or something like that. So, yeah, I couldn't find that. A little disappointed. I was like, dang, no peppermint anything. Until I went to the beer, because I was still looking for a stout. And I was like, might as well just see what they got. Might just completely change my mind, change the movie, all that stuff. Really feeling down, really wanted that peppermint moonshine. May just have to rethink the whole thing. But then I found a candy cane nitro imperial peppermint milk stout. Woo! And it's okay. It's okay. It's not the only thing I found either. Is because I also found a moon pie chocolate moon pie stout. So now I'm just like, okay, I got me a moon peppermint pie stout. I don't know. I found something with moon in the name. It's not moonshine, but it's moon pie. I got me my peppermint and a stout. I could just left it at just the peppermint stout. That's pretty much exactly what I was already wanting. But no. Instead, I just got 2 different beers. So yeah, my original intention was peppermint, moonshine, and black rum. But then I was like, that might be a little too heavy. Maybe wouldn't mix completely the best. But maybe a little peppermint moonshine and a stout, that might do something. And it definitely would taste more peppermint than this nitro stout I got, because it doesn't taste like peppermint at all. Moon pie stout also doesn't taste like moon pie at all. And individually, they're okay. They're both pretty strong alcohol. What are they? I think they're both like 8 or 9%. So they're pretty strong in the alcohol. Yeah, the moon pie one is 8.5%, and then the candy cane is, as it says on the can, 9.5%. So they're both strong. And individually, it just kind of tastes like strong stouts. Together, they tasted so much better. I don't know why, what caused it. I actually really enjoyed them together more than separately. Yeah, I was also, but still, just bummed. Then, right before watching this, someone gave me some Black Label Johnny Walker. I was like, well, this is black. It has black on the name at least. And I was like, I could add it to the peppermint. A stout, but then I was like, it's a decent whiskey. I was like, I don't know how people are gonna feel if I mix this Black Label into anything really, especially a beer. So, and then I was already also at that point determined, because this was literally, I think, well, maybe literally like 4 hours ago. I already had this plan. I was like, okay, I'm going to mix these 2 beers, and this curveball was like, I can't think about this. I gotta watch this movie. That's even longer than I realized. So yeah, no, I'm glad I didn't do it. I don't think I need to mix it anyways. But if you wanted me to actually include a liquor, so it's not just just drinking beer, because yeah, look, that's lazy. I get it. But that's what I did. But I actually had intentions. So yeah, if you want my red, black and white, and red all over. I guess that's what I'll call it. Black and white and red all over. Peppermint moonshine, black rum, or I don't know, peppermint moonshine and like the Johnny Walker Black Label. Yeah, that'd probably be good too. That would probably be better. Maybe, I don't know. Damn it. Now I am actually curious what the black rum would taste like with peppermint moonshine. I might do that again later. But yeah, that's it. That's the alcohol part of it. I went in with high expectation, good intentions. I don't know what you want to call it. And I came out with, it's still tasty to me at least. And I don't know what beer science that well, but I don't understand why these 2 taste better together than separate. It might just been a weird thing. Sorry, there's also a bunch of slurping noises. So that's the alcohol part. That's pretty much it. I thought there was probably more to it, but I guess there's not. So let's actually talk about the movie. Okay, I'm watching Penguin Highway. I watched it on Amazon Prime, and I'm disappointed. And I guess ended up being okay either way. There was some weird stuff. I had to watch it on Amazon Prime. Only place I could really find it. I think it was also on other places like Tubi, Freevee, those kind of places, but I don't really mess around with those. But I already have access to Amazon Prime, so I was like, I'll do it on here. It'd be fine. Here's the thing, though. Amazon Prime says it's in Japanese, dubbed with English subtitles. But when you actually start watching it, it's English. So someone doesn't know the difference between Japanese and English. That's disappointing. So I had to watch it dubbed. Now, I'm not thrilled about it. And there's one character who, named the lady, and just is the voice actor for Ami in Torador. And it took me at some point in the film, I realized that. And then it became more okay. It's like, oh, well, okay, I can deal with this. I'm fine. Cool. But then the voice acting at times just sounds so awkward. And I don't know why. It sounds so disconnected. Like, it's not good. And it's not like the voice. And this is the thing, is the voices actually sound fine. Like, I think they did fine with matching the voices with the characters. It's just how it's actually directed, I guess. I don't know. It was... And it's not like... You can ignore it for the most part, but there's some scenes you're just like... Oh, it's like they're having a hard time. They're just having a hard time. I don't get it. Or they sound like they're just guessing or like trying their... I don't know. It's not the best dub. And that's saying something because a lot of dubs aren't good to begin with. But yeah, I watched it. Disappointed that it lied to me. I always feel like I'm getting lied to when it comes to dubbed or subbed. If you listen to past episodes, you probably hear this all the time. But, oh well. And then, I'll just go ahead and talk it. Sometimes the animation is just stiff. It looks nice. The penguins are cute because there are penguins in it. Animation's just stiff. And I don't think I usually get to review and stuff, but I just want to say those notes because aside from that, it's a long movie. It's almost 2 hours. And I actually really enjoyed it. It was good. I didn't know what to expect. All I knew, it was something to do with penguins in the summer. And I thought I read the description at some point in my life. Because I've known of this movie ever since it originally came out in theaters in the U.S. Because I remember it was one of the first movies I almost went to see when I started like actually making effort to go see anime films in theaters. But I had to work. Because this was also back when films only came out for like one day. And I had to work that day. So I didn't get to. And I wish I would have. I wish I could have seen this in theaters. There's a lot going on in this. And I thought it was just like some nice, almost slice of life kind of like real young. And it is intended for younger audiences kind of. But I thought it would just be a nice, sweet little movie about penguins and like March of the Penguins. If it was even cuter and sweeter, there's a little March of the Penguins at one point in the movie, or Happy Feet, but less silly. It wasn't like that, and it was so much better. I don't know how I never actually read the description, or maybe I still haven't read the description. That's the thing. I need to look up the actual description of this movie. Because I just don't know what I thought this was going to be. Aoyama is a serious 10-year-old boy who records all of his day-to-day experiences in his notebook. One day in May... penguins inexplicably appear in his hometown despite being located a long way from the sea. Okay, well that one doesn't really explain There's like a sci-fi element to this. Something weird, just a weirdness you see on a lot of anime films like this. But also, it says one day in May. It very clearly states in the film, unless I had subtitles and English dubbed on. Well, I couldn't change the English dub anyways, but I did have subtitles on in the beginning. And it clearly said this was in June. That's my very first note, is June 29th. The 4th grader Aoyama. What grade is 10 years old? I don't know. Japanese grades are also different. Can't wait to grow up. 3,888 days until then. One of these is lying. Was it May or June? I don't know. I know it's in summer. Wait, aren't they still in school? I don't remember when summer vacation starts in Japan. I mean, I know it's not like in the USA, but I don't know. Well, now I'm confused. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was in June. I wasn't drunk yet. That was the very beginning of the movie. I don't know. So, yeah. And... okay, so no, it wouldn't have been my fault. If I would have read that, I still wouldn't have known what to expect for this movie. Okay, so that's good. That's not on me. I'm fine. Oh, it's a good movie. If you haven't watched this movie yet and you think it's like, it's whatever, go watch the film and then come back and listen to this. The fact that you listen to this in the first place that we haven't watched it, no, thanks, I guess. Go watch the film too, though. It's good. I know it's like looks and it's supposed to be more directed towards younger audiences, but it's actually pretty good. Interesting at least. I was really right into it. I think this is the longest. I have almost 2 whole page of notes for this. I usually, at most, am trying to cram it all into one for a single movie. I have almost 2 whole pages, which if you want to see those notes, take pictures of them because they're handwritten and put them on my Ko-fi. So there was a lot I wanted to say about this. That's how much I really liked it and how drawn into it I was. So I haven't even really talked, aside from, like the dub being bad and the animation being stiff, the rest of it was pretty cool and nice. Not too crazy, but like a little interesting bits enough. So let's go into the actual informational, you could look this up on Wikipedia, but I'm going to tell you anyways, kind of stuff. This Penguin Highway was originally a novel by Tomihiko Morimi. No, that's what I wrote down. Back in 2010, didn't even know that. And then the movie came out in like a festival, July 29th, 2018, officially in Japan on like August 17th. So it's like a month or two after this takes place, kind of month-wise. Oh, I wish it would have been so close. I thought one of the reasons I hesitated to do it now because penguins, yeah, they're a cold type of animal. It's almost winter here. And I was like, but I knew the movie at least took place during summer. And I was like, should I just wait till summer? Hold on to this movie this whole time. This movie I've known about for years. And I'm just now thinking about doing. Nah, I'll go ahead and do it. It's birthday. Birthday's coming up. Let's do the bird movie. So that's what I did. And that's why. So, aside from the movie, there's a manga by Kaito Yano. I guess that's it. I mean, based off the story of the novel, I'm assuming, and then drew and put together by Kaito Yano. That started in March 2018, so it started even before the movie came out, which is interesting. Lasted through February 2019. That's about 3 volumes in the monthly comic Alive. I don't really know that comic. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Yin Press put it out in English, maybe. So maybe I need to look into that. See about either getting the book or the manga. It'd be interesting to see. I wonder what they did with it. Because I really liked the Silent Voice manga. Even though I watched the film first. And then same thing with the Fireworks film. I watched that first. And then I still ended up really liking the book that came out. So maybe I could do the same thing with this. But I don't always do that. I keep saying I'm going to and then I forget. Because there's been other films like it that I've said I would do that with and just never got around to it. So, yeah, moving on. It is from Studio Colorido. I think it was Toho put it out? I don't know. Toho, I don't know. The director was Hiroyasu Ishida. That sounds kind of familiar. Probably should have looked up more about these people and what they did besides this film. The writer for the screenplay itself, the movie, was Hakoto Ueda, and then the music is Yumitaro Abe. I think my handwriting is garbage. Did I put anything about the music? I did. Okay, so yeah, since I'm talking about the music, it's kind of scarce. It's there at nice times. Nothing like really phenomenal about it, but it's just nice mood setting. It goes along well with it. But even better in this was like the sound choreography, like just all the little noises that could pop up and happen. And some of them are actually kind of important, or like really add some kind of mystery or depth to them. Like if you weren't paying, if for some reason you did watch this subbed and turned off the sound, you would miss a lot of stuff that could be important and really enhance the experience. So yes, sound choreography for this was great. I don't know if I doubt the music person is the one who does that part of it. I guess it's whoever works with the folio. But I really enjoyed that. I don't know. I've really been in folio lately. But that is, the informational, learn some stuff kind of deal of this. Let's actually talk about what happens in the film. There's a lot. It might take a bit, so we'll see how long this goes. For the most part, overall, it's not super actiony. There's eventually some sci-fi kind of elements to it, some weird mystery, like how does this make any sense? A little bit of romance kind of in there. Look, the main character is on some kind of spectrum. It doesn't say it, and it doesn't need to. It doesn't really matter. But just to get an idea of how the character is, a 10-year boy that's super serious, really, like, no emotions. Really, I don't know how, just like, smart, but too overly logical. Not really reactionary. Has like a pranky kind of side, or a side of justice, but like it's just very monotone about everything. I don't really remember any real instances of the main character getting like excitable or too much stuff. But there is a little bit of mischief. There are times being a kid pops out, which is good because it is still a kid. And there's some weird times with someone named the lady that happens. So, I already told you. Starts, I think it was either July or June 29th. Definitely not May, unless everything else was wrong. But yeah, fourth grader Ayama can't wait to grow up. For some reason, calculated 3,888 days until then. Let me see how many years that actually is. Assuming it's about 10 years? Maybe. I don't know what Japan considers adult, because I know that's different than age of consent, which is the weird part. Yeah, it's about 10 years. So I guess aiming to be 20. 20 is a good age to be considered adult. So this kid is even smarter. It's not 18. Here's the thing. In the USA, turning 18 doesn't make you an adult. Trust me. My youngest brother just turned 18. He's definitely not an adult. Not just mentally. And you need some years being on your own, being out of school, finding your place in the world to really realize you're not an adult. And kids don't understand that. And other people who prey on those kids probably understand that, but want to take advantage of the situation because they're just bad people. I'll say that. I'm not going to defend or try to find a bright side in that. No, they're just fucked up people. So, 20. Dang, this kid is kind of smart. Thinking about 20, that would give you some years to actually grow up, mature, have some of that time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so one day, for some reason, there are penguins. We see a lot of them loading a truck, and then the beginning credits start popping up, rolling, whatever you want to say, as the truck rolls away. But one penguin was left alone. Oh, and the credits is pretty much just following this penguin trying to chase after the truck, I guess. Just going. And nice opening scene. I really liked it. There's no talking. It's literally just, oh, here's a penguin. Meets a cat, swims, goes through forest, I think, all kinds of stuff. I don't think we really see what happens in this penguin. It's not like there's one penguin that we followed. Not even like an exact group of penguins we followed. Unlike March of Penguins and Happy Feet. A lot of penguin stuff. Huh. Is there a Happy Feet? I'm not going to get on that. What other penguin? Batman's penguin. Dumb. Okay, so yeah, that goes through, and then we start actually meeting more of the cast. There's Aoyama, of course, the friend, Uchida. They start investigating why these penguins are appearing, because, yeah, they're in Japan, nowhere near the Arctic, or Antarctic, more specifically. And, I remember another penguin movie. One of my favorite penguin movies ever is Surf's Up. That was one of my favorite movies. It's where I found my favorite band, Dirty Heads. I'm actually wearing a Dirty Heads shirt because I got to see them earlier in the year. Penguins. I don't know. I don't even have any that much special interest in penguins. But penguins are cute, especially ones in this movie. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, then other characters. There's, of course, the bully character, Suzuki, also has two other goons. Then I don't know, it's weird to say the romance character because it's not really, or the love interest. It's a girl, the girl, I guess you could say. It's the girl character because that's whatever. Hamamoto, um, eventually gets a crush on Aoyama. Really smart, just like Aoyama. Specifically great at chess. Has interest. I think it has an interest in penguins. Dad's a researcher, um, a weather researcher or something. Suzuki has a crush on Hamamoto. And then eventually, another main character is the lady from the dental office. We don't get her actual name. I thought it would be fun just to call the lady Ami, but it's all my notes say literally the lady, so I'll just keep saying the lady because that's how Aoyama refers to the person. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Aoyama goes to the dental office. This is where we get to see Aoyama actually acting like a kid. Makes up a story to Suzuki, who's also there, who was just being a tyrant bully earlier, bullying Uchida. So Aoyama makes up some kind of like lie while they're waiting at the dentist, like, "Oh yeah, you must be here because you probably have like, I think it was like some kind of fungal or disease in the mouth." And Suzuki's going to have to get all the teeth pulled out in order to get rid of it. Otherwise, the mushrooms will grow too much and Suzuki would die. I don't know. And this is where you also see, oh yeah, these are fourth graders. Even though Suzuki looks so much older for some reason, it's like, oh yeah, Suzuki is a kid because Suzuki goes in there and just starts crying to the dentist. That's when the lady comes out and is like, "You're such a child," kind of moment. The lady, I don't get. We don't see any actual backstory between the lady and Aoyama. We just can get some point get a feeling that the lady and Aoyama have like met before, know of each other. But they're just really close for no reason. I don't know why. We don't get it. I know Aoyama says the lady teaches chess. And teach Aoyama chess mainly to learn how to beat Hamamoto. But besides that, don't know why there's such a strong connection between them. And then there's more main characters. There's Aoyama's dad, and it also has a mom and sister, but they're there, but don't really play much of a part, except for the sister's creep out one part. I'll get to that later. The dad, though, it's like a weird thing. I almost just thought the dad was a ghost. There's some weird thing. Because you only really see Aoyama talking to the dad, Aoyama's dad, like in passing, like literally walking down the street waiting for a bus. I don't remember if they ever interact at home at all. And I don't know, it's weird. And it's not like a bad parent. It's just like, I think Aoyama's dad is just always going off for business, always business trips or whatever. And you kind of just see that, but you also see Aoyama talking cryptically about the research and investigation, all that stuff. And the dad seeming encouraging. So, I mean, I don't understand what's going on with the dad. Is the dad dead? Fake? Not even really there? It's all in Aoyama's head? I don't know. It's just a mysterious character for seemingly no reason. But maybe there is. And I just didn't look deep enough. Who knows? Maybe there's more to it. More depth than I even realized. But there's pretty much the main characters. They're all kind of laid out like that. Back to back to back. Like it was intentionally trying to show you these are the characters that will be popping up. Except for one. We don't get to see Hamamoto's dad until much later. About halfway through. But I just brought him up because why not? May as well now. So, yeah. Most of this is just Aoyama and Uchida, at least in the first part, just investigating, trying to figure out where these penguins are coming from. They have a map. They're marking locations where they heard rumors, haven't seen, whatever. And Aoyama has a notebook called Penguin Highway, or Penguin Highway, or something like that. And I guess that's supposed to be where the name comes from, but it's so quick you almost don't notice it. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if it's ever referenced again, like specifically Penguin Highway. Maybe. You can definitely see it at one point. Like, oh, this is the trail the penguins are following, but it's literally not even like the same trail. So I don't know where that actually even comes from. I don't know. But then there is a point where Aoyama and Uchida are talking, taking a break, and Aoyama just randomly has a boob-shaped cake or snack, and this just goes, I really like boobs, or something like that. And is fascinated by the lady's boobs. You even saw earlier, the lady accused Aoyama of staring at the boobs, and I was like, that's weird. Okay, just poking fun. But no, apparently, now this is like a moment Aoyama pretty much just confesses, like, has interest in the lady's boobs. And he's like, why are ladies' boobs different than my mom's? Like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I know it's animation. They're not even like, from what you can tell, because this is a kid's thing, it's not like they're outrageously animated boobs like you would normally see. I guess they could be somewhat realistic. I didn't get, I sound like such a bird now. I didn't get a good look at the mom's boobs, so I can't really compare. But then it's right after this that they find the penguins. For the first time actually seeing the penguins. I was like, oh, wow. And I know I'll write it down somewhere later, but I'll probably get to it later. There's another instance where I don't remember the exact scene, but I know I remember it happening. And there's another moment where Aoyama is talking about boobs, or something about boobs comes up, and then another penguin appears. I'm like, are the penguins related to boobs? Are the penguins boobs? And then, who has boobs that Aoyama also likes? The lady. So are the lady connected to the penguins? I didn't make this until after. That comparison until after. So, boobs and penguins. That's what this movie's about for little kids. There's nothing wrong with boobs. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so they find the penguin after talking about boobs. Boobs are fun, I guess. And they're led to a forest where a silver moon is rumored to be. So I guess just a really pale ass. No, not that kind of moon. Literally, I guess it's supposed to. I don't know what they think is supposed to happen, but yeah, they get to the entrance of this forest, and then Suzuki and Goon show up too. I don't know how they just randomly found him here. What coincidence? Stalking, I guess. Uchida runs. Aoyama gets caught. It's tied to a vending machine. The map is torn up, pissed on. And, like I said before, Aoyama completely chilled the whole time. And understands, like, oh yeah, I kind of deserve that after the whole dentist thing. But it just left there. And then the lady appears. Speaking of boobs. Apparently was waiting at a bus stop next to him the whole time. Kind of, I guess, fell asleep. Woke up to find Aoyama tied to a vending machine. A whole joke of like, what are you doing? That part is actually funny. It's like, how's it hanging or something like that. Aoyama says something like, "Oh, just practicing being a vending machine." And the lady's like, "Oh, I'll take a Coke, please, or cola." It's like, insert money. He actually buys the cola. And then this is the like vulnerable side of Aoyama's. Lady walks away and is like, "Will you please help me?" And it's like, oh, you are still a kid. You gotta remember that. And then Aoyama has a loose tooth. They try and pull it. Apparently, I guess in Japan, the whole tie dental floss around the tooth and like jerk it out like that. Even though, for some reason, it's also like tied to a doorknob and slam it shut. That was a thing for me growing up as a kid. Actually, for me, jerking out teeth was biting onto a sugar daddy and just ripping my jaw open. Fucked me up so bad. I don't know how I didn't lose all my teeth, but I pulled out a good bit of my teeth. I don't want to say like half, but it feels like, and if I remember correctly, it feels like it was about half. Second, one of those teeth got loose. I was just like, I was a fucked up kid. Holy shit. I don't even like pain that much. What's wrong with me? I don't know. Yeah, so trying to pull a tooth out, and there's a little bit of humor there. And then eventually the lady is like grabs the cola bought earlier, kind of just left it there, and is like, here's my trick. And I thought the whole thing was going to like tie the string to the cola and just chuck it. I don't know if that'd be a good idea or not. But no, that's not what happens. The lady takes the cola, tosses it up in the air, and while Aoyama's watching, and you're waiting for that pull to come, instead, just like Aoyama, you watch the cola turn into a penguin. What the boobs really do turn stuff into penguins. Somehow the lady's boobs and the penguins are really connected. Or the lady and the penguins are connected. I don't know if the boobs had anything to do with it. Maybe. Who knows? But and then you see at some point the lady did pull. I don't know if it even shows it because I didn't notice it. But it'll be honestly kind of great if you do see it, but you're also distracted by the fact there's a penguin that just got turned from a cola can. And so now we have this mystery with the lady being able to turn stuff into penguins for some reason. Yeah. And here's another animation thing I hate, but it's just like a standard. When you see kids with a lost tooth or they just look like broken teeth or a broken tooth instead, like it's just been chipped, because you still see the white going under it. You just see like the little round curve, like part of the tooth is gone, not the whole thing. I hate that stuff. Also, like when a character is behind bars or a net or something like IQ, which I mentioned on a podcast episode before, and like it looks like their face is going through the net or through the bars, and it looks weird. It's like, well, you gotta see the face. Yeah, but it looks fucking stupid. Is it worth it? No, I don't know. Anyways, so it's just weird animation stuff like that I'm not crazy about. But yeah, now Aoyama, fascinated, or as fascinated seeming as a child like this could be, now wants to start experimenting and investigating what the lady has to do with this. Tries to repeat the incident over and over, doing the exact same steps as before, kind of. And yeah. Oh. And okay, I found the other note. So, Uchida comes back, apologizes for running away, and Aoyama's just like, it's okay whenever stuff happens, just think about boobs to calm down, which, I don't know if thinking about boobs exactly calms me down. Maybe a little bit exciting. I don't know. I'm not going to make this kid's film weird. I'm sorry. I'll move on to that. But Uchida's like, sure. But here's a penguin, a little penguin pet I have named either Peta or Penta, something like that. Couldn't exactly understand what the name was supposed to be. And now they're trying to examine it more. So decide to take it to an aquarium. I guess it's far away. They're taking a ride. Halfway through the ride, the penguin starts acting up, being weird. And get off at some point, and the penguin just, I think, melts and, what did I say? Turns back into a soda can. Yeah. Just weird. And it's like, oh, okay. So there is more mystery. Yeah. That, and then it kind of moves on. This is kind of where it picks up, kind of where it just moves on and stuff keeps happening. Later, while playing chess with the lady, the lights go out. They're talking about, I guess, things they don't like or stuff. Or maybe the lady, I don't know if it was at this point. The lady's having dreams of something called a Jabberwocky. But then mentions also not liking bats. Lights go out. And then the chess pieces turn into bats. Ooh. And then this is where it kind of clicks for Aoyama. Like, oh, that's a thing. That's what was wrong with the experiment is coming to some kind of conclusion of they go back, redo the experiment, and it turns out it's in sunlight or positivity, stuff like that. When the lady turns stuff into penguins, it's in the dark or the negativity part of it that for some reason turn things into bats. This is the only time things turn into bats though, so it might just be that one specific time. But yeah, now the two spend a whole day together mainly to do that. But then goes back to the lady's place, which is weird. There's no real, I don't get the reason for it. I don't know why they. I know it starts raining, and there's that whole thing you see in anime a lot where it's like, oh, it's raining. Let's go over to your place instead of just whatever. Because if they're caught in the rain for half a second, if a single drop gets on them, they're sick forever now, and they're going to die. I don't know. So they always have to go to their nearest place and let things get steamy. It gets weird. It's a little weird. But it's also completely innocent at the same time. Yeah. So, and no, never mind. It gets weird. So I get it. Aoyama is a kid, but usually Aoyama falls asleep pretty quickly because being a kid, early bedtime, stuff like that. But this time, maybe because used a bunch of energy to turn stuff into penguins. Maybe some other reason. The lady ends up falling asleep first. Maybe just being home. And Aoyama's just looking over a sleeping body. And it's like, why do I feel all these things? Why do I think this stuff about? It's just another person. Just boobs. I get it. I mean, they're boobs. So much boobs talk in a kid's film. I'm making it weird. And then, yeah, so Aoyama doesn't know what a crush is. Doesn't really understand empathy. Like, not completely. Don't understand empathy from an actual empathetic sense, more from a logical sense. So, yeah, doesn't understand what a crush is, but does at least try to cover up the lady with, I guess, a towel. Literally just, like, the stomach area of the lady. Doesn't try doing anything perverted, so that's nice at least. Doesn't go that far. And then I guess the kid just stays there until morning. It kind of just cuts, I guess, the next day. I don't remember if anything else happens. Right? I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, so then that happens. And then they don't see each other for a while. A bunch of time starts to just pass. Things seem to kick off because now Hamamoto, the little girl from before, the girl of the series, I guess. We find out Hamamoto made up the Silver Moon rumor, but also it's kind of not a rumor because takes Aoyama and Uchida to the forest from before, and then they come out to just a big field meadow. I don't know exactly the difference between a field and a meadow, where there's a giant orb. So it's like, it wasn't actually a rumor, it was also real. Also, you're trying to keep this secret. Why would you spread a rumor like that? Because usually stuff like that draws attention, but I guess it didn't, at least not yet. I don't know. But yeah, now they start investigating this. So the focus kind of switches away from the lady, even though Aoyama goes back to the apartment over and over again. And also, this is the other wild thing that you have to remember. Being, mainly grown up in the USA, and also not growing up in cities or anything like that. I've always, grew up out in, the country, out literally in the middle of the woods, away from people. So we couldn't really just walk anywhere we wanted around town. I mean, I still did once I was in, middle school. 8th grade through high school, I could just walk around town. But that's not where I lived, so I would have to wait until I got a ride back home. But I don't know, being 10, thinking about that and just walking all over the place to where you're literally just stopping by some older lady's apartment just to check up. Also going into a forest, the plains, messing with this giant ocean orb. I don't know, but they investigate it. All three of them, they have their own little setup. Time is passing. And then, one day, they throw in a Lego ship that they name Penguin Ship or something like that. Yeah. And they almost get dragged into, they have it tied off so that they could check the temperature and stuff like that and then pull it back. But then Uchida starts getting dragged away with it. So then you eventually just let it go and it's lost for now. And then, for some reason, somehow, Suzuki and goons just charge in. Literally charge. I don't know what the plan was. Uchida runs away. The humor in this, it's so light and I don't know, it's just light, but it really hits and I really enjoy it. But yeah, the goons charge in, take down Aoyama. Suzuki just does whatever. Then I think this is where Aoyama reveals that it's okay for Suzuki to have. Can't read a room at all. Another part where I think, there's something going on. And yeah, just reveals Suzuki's crush for Hamamoto. And then, of course, Suzuki's unhappy about that. But then, also out of nowhere, for some reason, the Penguins charge in, led or being directed by the lady, after not seeing the lady in a while. I think this is it. Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me see. Oh wow, does this happen later? No. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, I'll get to this. Then I'll go back. So, lady sends the penguins in to save everyone. I said the lady didn't see the lady for a while, but unless I'm just completely wrong, there's also a summer festival halfway through where we are introduced to Hamamoto's dad. Nice guy, it seems like, I guess. And then we finally see the lady again. I mean, there's not much else to it, but for some reason I didn't put it in my notes. And I thought it would be kind of important. That's it. So now we're back to this. The penguins start, pecking and attacking at the orb. And then when it does this, it starts expanding, bubbling up. And just shoots out a bunch of balls. Big balls that could swallow up a kid, and destroys their little makeshift area. And then one is heading right toward Ichida. The lady throws something at it, and it turns into a penguin and saves Uchida. And then the rest of the penguins are just pecking at the remaining squirted out or sent out blobs of the orb too. Yeah. So there was that. And then more time passing, all that stuff. Ichida. Here's the thing. I feel like Uchida is a very underrated character for this, because we know Aoyama's doing the research. Uchida's also doing separate research, which I think ends up actually being a lot more beneficial. A whole different perspective on the research. But apparently Uchida's been following the stream that has been running through the forest, through the field, right underneath the ocean orb, and realized it's a loop, just a continuous loop, and it's showing Aoyama this. And then while they're doing it, they're seeing a giant seal kind of thing attacking the penguins. And I don't think I realized it this time, but it also has weird little human arms. Turns out these aren't just seals; they're also the Jabberwocky. It's supposed to be kind of like the Jabberwockies. They're just really weird. Yeah, and then eventually, I don't know how much time is passing, but now Aoyama is suggesting to stop the research after seeing this, because the ocean is getting bigger, but it's also to protect the lady. Worried that if other scientists or something find the lady, discover what can be done, discover all this, then they will they're take the lady and experiment. That kind of fear. But they don't want to reveal the research, and they keep saying this over and over again, it's confidential, it's top secret, until they actually figure out the mystery of it and everything that's going on. But now Aoyama wants to stop, because if they keep pushing, eventually things will keep developing, and they'll have to get more help, and they'll have to reveal the lady and stuff like that. So it's kind of, there's a lot of logic to it, but I also realize this is a job for adults. The thing is, though, even if you leave it, that doesn't change the fact that something isn't going to change. It's is it the Schrodinger's cat kind of thing? No, maybe not. I don't know, stuff. I don't know the actual thing, but stuff only reacting as you watch it. I don't know if this orb is exactly like that, but also maybe. Who knows? Or the same thing if tree falls in the wood and nobody's around it. Here, it doesn't make a noise, kind of like thing. It's like, are things happening if no one is around to witness it? So, I don't think that's the case. The orb is probably still doing anything. It's probably better if you watch it. But also, maybe not. Maybe being around it is what's activating it. Who knows? Oh, there's a lot. I'm not even done with the first page. Should I make this a two-parter? I don't know. So, now this is where the film pretty much is like the second half. Or, I guess. A lot of stuff happens in the first. You can probably tell already. But then there's less things that happen, but they take a little more time to happen, I guess. So, now we get more involved with Hamamoto's dad. Ari studies weather. Is found Hamamoto's notes, which kind of, I guess, talked about the orb, the ocean, but it mainly led this dad to the lady. I don't want to keep saying Hamamoto's dad, so I'll just keep saying the dad. I know Aoyama has the dad, but doesn't really appear, like I mentioned earlier, so I just keep saying the dad, or the weather guy, I don't know, whatever. And just talks to the lady. We don't get to really see exactly what they talk about or what they get to. I'm just now realizing that. It just kind of seems like a mystery, like this dad knows what's up or knows something is up and kind of got more insight from the lady. Because now, I think it was Aoyama comes up to the dentist's office now, sees the lady out. Right? Yeah. And it's just like, oh, what's up? What are you doing? And it's like, oh, something happened. They talked about something, but we never really get to see what that interaction was actually about. But beyond what, the end, the cutaway. So yeah, now, the lady finally taking Aoyama to see. Apparently has never been to the ocean, the sea, whatever. Finally get to see it. But on the way, in a very similar way, the lady starts to get weak. And they have to stop, get out, take a moment to take a break. And then, for some reason, Jabberwockies, start circling in the ground. Don't pop out. Just, kind of circling and then disappear as the lady starts feeling a little better. But also, tells Aoyama, oh, I haven't eaten in a few days. And maybe that's it. Who knows? Whatever. It is suspicious, and we don't see Aoyama actually point out. It's like, oh, this is just like that penguin. But maybe the thought is stirring. And definitely anyone watching should probably pick up the similarities with that. But yeah, now they go back to school. Like I said, I don't know exactly how Japan works school-wise during the summer. I know there's a summer break. It's a very common trope with anime. Don't know how long it is. I don't think it's as long as it is in the USA. But now, we're back at school. Suzuki and the goons found a baby Jabberwocky. Don't know how. Don't know. It's weird. It's a weird looking seal kind of thing with a hand sticking out of it that looks like it belongs on a baby dog. It's kind of creepy because of that hand. Yeah, they found it. They're at school showing it off. And then some scientists come to talk to him as they're going away. Hamamoto just stands up and is like, remember your promise, you don't do anything. Of course Suzuki does. Says, oh, we're just going to talk about this creature, but no, obviously does. Yeah, and then another kid comes in and is like, turn on the news. Because I guess they still have news or TVs in classrooms. I never noticed before. I don't know. And the news is saying there's a giant orb thing just coming out of nowhere, and that there's a group of scientists led by who else but Hamamoto's dad that disappeared, and now they run off. Wait, what did I do? No, is this different? No, this is different. Okay. Hang on. I jumped the gun on some stuff. So yeah, Hamamoto's dad is leading a group into the forest. Hamamoto and Uchida are trying to find their way through the forest. A bunch of it is blocked off, stuff they could easily get by, but they decided to do detours anyways. They go to this camp or area getting set up for the investigation. See Suzuki there, just talking more about the stuff. Slaps the shit out of this kid. Just really starts to try to beat him up. You can see Suzuki's hurt about it. And yeah, so that's not fun stuff for them, I guess. But now, while that's happening, Aoyama is experimenting with fasting, going to see what it's like not to eat for a few days, to see what it's like with the lady. I guess this is a sign that Aoyama thinks something is up, or is just trying to understand the lady more. Those are my, I don't know if you heard, that was my page turning, because I found it on the second page. Okay, now it cuts back a lot because there's pretty much Aoyama doing their own thing, and then Hamamoto and Uchida doing a thing, kind of whatever. The dad's team, going through the forest, finds a whole bunch of Jabberwocky and the floating orbs. And then this is a creepy part. And then Aoyama is randomly woken up by the sister just saying, "Mom's going to die." And it's like, what the fuck? Creepy little girl. No, this is why little girls are scary. I don't like little girls because they're creepy, especially in instances like this. Yeah, and then when Aoyama actually wake up, assuming the next morning, has a fever, dreams of the lady, penguin, seal, whale. I don't know what the point of the whale was. It's there for some reason. Wakes up, the lady is there. That's suspicious. Maybe still a dream. Didn't really seem like a dream. Yeah, and Aoyama's sick. Maybe because of the fasting. Maybe from that time, accidentally got a drop of rain on him. All the other water stuff. Who knows why Aoyama is conveniently sick. So yeah, now this is where I'll jump the gun. Now the orb is large enough to be on the news. That the kid, all that stuff said before. Dad's disappeared. And now the group is trying to get to him with Suzuki and the goons' help, because Suzuki is now trying to make up to Hamamoto. Really quick turnaround on this, kind of, to be like, I betrayed you, now I gotta help you. There's really not much time in between this. But yeah, Suzuki, the goons, help Hamamoto, Aoyama, and Uchida escape the school to get to the ocean. The first ones to be the distraction are the goons. And then I guess there's police kind of people that Suzuki, Uchida, and Hamamoto take care of. There's also some ball grabbing. Just grabbing people by the digging balls. Aoyama did to Suzuki once. Now Suzuki taking that lesson, do it to some cops. Bold. Fucking bold. But they're Japanese cops, not, the United States of America cops. Also, these kids are black. That's a whole different social injustice issue. So yeah, they do that. They live without getting shot. And for some reason, only Aoyama is the one to escape and keep running forward. I feel like this was really a Hamamoto kind of lead. But that's not the main character. Aoyama is. And Aoyama's not even going straight to the forest or anything. It's first going to try to find the lady, and makes it at, I think it was at the cafe they always go to. But yeah, then Aoyama lays out conclusion findings, revealing that the lady is probably not human. All this stuff that's been happening has been led back to boobs, to the lady, and yeah, also thinks the orb isn't an object but a hole in the world. And stuff is leaking out. I don't really get this, because now that I know where it goes from here, maybe Aoyama is wrong. I don't really see it as a whole. I don't understand that part. There was some philosophical guess kind of stuff going on in the beginning. I think trying to talk about was it this or was it something else? The edge of the world. Oh yeah, because it was Aoyama and Uchida talking about there's the world is a orb, so there's no end of the world, like the end of the ocean, like Flat Earthers saying. If there was the edge of the world, it would be like the outer limits of the atmosphere. So now this orb or hole is like an edge, a hole that opened up that leads to somewhere, even though it just seems like a ball of water. So it definitely feels and seems like an object. Or maybe it is a hole that just leads directly to a water. This is like, you get stoned and get drunk and you're trying to figure this stuff out now and trying to get all philosophical and like, man, shower thoughts, high thoughts, stoner thoughts kind of deal. But yeah, so for some reason that's the thing. And then this is where the March of the Penguins actually begins. They're going to the ocean. They're just like strolling through. More cops show up, the not shooty kinds. And while they're walking, the lady's just turning all kinds of things into penguins. Not even tossing them anymore. Just walking by and here's more penguins. Literally things just deconstructing and turning into penguins. Bricks in the road turning into penguins. All kinds. So they have like a literal March of the Penguins. This is the Penguin Highway, I assume. Enough to like overpower, just flood the cops. I don't know if they're actually cops or just like patrol officers, stuff like that, neighborhood watch kind of deal, somewhere in between maybe. But yeah, physics be damned. We got penguins and they're fucking moving. Yeah, and then they keep going and going and going, and then they all crash into the ocean orb, or the actual ocean, and they enter another world. Kind of. It's like, kind of like the world. It's weird. I don't get it. They're not there for long at all. They find the dad's team eventually. Didn't they just leave the dad's team? No. Hang on. Yeah. It's weird. None of this part really made that much sense to me. So they find the dad's team. Don't really do much. Just like, oh, there you are. And then decide, oh, we're going to just destroy the orb from the inside with the penguins somehow. I guess that'll be the way out. Kind of. But if we do this, then the lady's also going to have to disappear. It's like, well, can you leave a little bit? It's like, no, we can't do that. But okay, well, they do that. All the leftover mini oceans are also just getting packed by the penguins, getting popped and destroyed. Then they leave the dad's team alone for a bit. Just, I don't know. They go back to that same cafe in this world now. Is it the world? Are they inside it? Did I miss something? This part is weird. I don't know. But they go to that cafe to talk more, I guess. The lady's like, okay, you stay here. I'm going to go outside. And then the lady's gone. They have their last moments together. And then all of a sudden, and I'm like, poof, okay, you're gone. There you go. And then I guess everyone's just back. It just shows like everyone with other people, and then Aoyama's just comes strolling back to be with the rest of the people. All the penguins have turned back into items. I don't know if they went back where they came from or they're just in random people's yards. And also, a lot of stuff is covered in green, I guess moss, mold, maybe whatever kind of green stuff that is. Yeah, I don't know if it's only the items that turn into penguins or everything kind of just has green stuff on it now. But yeah, it's there now. Everyone's confused. And then, to end it all, like that last like overview, looking back at everything. This is where the sound choreography really matters. Is we're looking at the entrance to the forest, and we hear some rustling, and then that's where it ends. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the movie. There's some hint to that. Maybe there was more. Maybe there was a little bit left behind or something. I think there was a after credit scenes or mid credit scenes. There's another scene later, where Aoyama is looking back out in the field around where the lady disappeared. Thought saw a penguin. Turns out it was just a cat. But then the cat runs away, and it turns out it was the penguin Lego ship. And it's like, oh, also is Lego the actual? I guess they're building blocks. I think Lego's just the brand. But yeah, it was there. And it's like, oh, there is still maybe a little more mystery. There's still maybe a little something left. So yeah, and then that's it. I don't think there was any more after the credit scene because that's kind of where I just went to, typical credits. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And I said earlier, Aoyama really doesn't change at all. At most, just gets additional goals with what becoming an adult means. Like acknowledges the fact like there's crushes, but doesn't really want anyone else except for probably the lady. Grow up, becoming a kind of adult. And I think said go in NASA or be an astronaut or something and find a lady. I guess assuming all this means it's a different world in outer space, not a dimensional thing. I don't know. I'm really fascinated with this lady. Is it boobs? Is it just boobs? I don't know. The only real character that has any like significant change is Suzuki, and I feel like that was pretty obvious. You see these type of characters, and like, okay, you're gonna have actual character development. Cool. Uchida, Hamamoto, they don't really change. The goons' names are set at one point. I don't remember what they are. Maybe Uchida gets a little braver, a little more confident, I guess, after this. Maybe Hamamoto gets a little more understanding, less jealous, maybe. We see Suzuki playing chess with Hamamoto, so there's that. But yeah, that's it. Don't really discover anything new about Aoyama's dad. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. That's all there is to say. So, yeah, that is Penguin Highway. There was a lot there. I was so surprised. Also, before watching the movie, I didn't realize it was going to be nearly 2 hours long. So that surprised me. But I enjoyed it. It was a lot better movie. I can say it's one of the best movies I've done for this podcast, which is so surprising to me. But yeah, I say this all the time, if you haven't watched the film and you're at this point in the podcast, you should go watch it anyways. I know I said pretty much everything that happens, but definitely doesn't do it justice as to actually watch it and see how it happens, because it's nice. Either way, there's a little bit of like intensity, actiony-esque sequences to it, but most of it's pretty chill and just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Especially when it gets towards the end and stuff gets weird. I might need to just go back through that. Of course, by that time, it's been almost 2 hours. I've drank a lot, a good amount. So maybe things weren't clicking on me as my mind got more and more beer into it. But yeah, that's it. That's all I really got to say about the movie. Let me know what other kind of penguin themed drinks you have. Also the joke, what's black and white and red all over it. I think there's other punchlines to it. I don't know how it came to me. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I thought of this, even though I didn't follow through with it. I might still mix some of that Black Label Johnny Walker into the Candy Cane Nitro just to see what it's like. I just won't tell anyone I'm doing it because I don't know. It seems a little insulting because it was given to me. It's only a little bottle. And I know it's supposed to be nice-ish. Nice enough. Nicer than stuff I normally get. I still want to try that moonshine and black rum. I will see. I'm probably not. So, yeah, that's it. Let me know penguin drinks. Let me know what other punchlines. Let me know what you thought. If you want to talk more about this film and other anime films, or if you want to give recommendations, maybe I should do that. I don't think I've ever asked for recommendations on what to watch next. I do have stuff lined up, at least 3 other things, but I'm always willing to watch whatever. Hey, and if you also want to be on an episode with me, reach out to me. We can, watch the movie separately together if possible, whatever you want to do. However we can do it. Provide your own drinks. Unless you live near me, which I'm not telling you where I live, so you gotta figure that one out. Don't figure that one out, unless you already know. I'm so dumb. But yeah, whatever. Let's talk more. Find me on social media, The AC Stories. Email me, theacstories@gmail.com. But yeah, before I go, I want to thank my Ko-fi member, Julio, Vasquez. If you also want to help support me on Ko-fi, you don't have to. It's nice if you do. Thanks, whether or not you do. But that is going to be it for this episode of Alcohol and Anime. I have been your otaku tainer, The AC Stories. Until next month, thank you so much, and bye.